We ain't talked about old Leroy in a while, but I was working on these jug lines and I thought about it. Old Leroy took a fella with him and went fishing the other day, and they was going jug lining. And they got way up a river a ways, and old Leroy realized he had forgot the jugs back there in the truck. So instead of getting them, he said, I know what I'll do. He got him a roll of them limb lines he had in the boat. Now, we always keep a roll of limb lines in the boat because if you forget your stuff, you got something you can fish with. So old Leroy, he's working on them lines. He said, I'm going to make me some jugs right quick. And he flipped the boat seat up. He had some of them old stale beers under that boat seat. Now, I don't approve of drinking not none, but old Leroy, I've been working on him, and Leroy, he's still got a long ways to go, and this other fella, he don't drink not near a bit neither. So Leroy, instead of pouring them out, he decided he'd drink them. Well, he's trying to empty them things and ain't getting them quite empty. He's pitching them back there to that fella, and that fella's a putting the limb lines on there and baiting them, and they chunking them in the river, and man, they catching fish. And old Leroy's in a hurry, and he done got a little sloppy after 2 or 3, and he pitched one back there and missed, and he hit that boat seat, busted, and cut that fella on the arm right there. Well, they reached around to Leroy and said, don't worry about it, I'll fix you right up. He popped the lid open on his tackle box, reached in there and got a pair of old women's pantyhose he had to put that chicken liver in, you know. Man, they got the man's arm washed off, wrapped it up good. Well, he said, what am I going to do? He said, this old beer splashed all over my britches legs. Said I was smelling like that. So they took his britches off, and he was washing them in the creek. Well, when they got through fishing, they caught a boatload of fish, and britches wouldn't dry, and he didn't want to put them on. He didn't have a long ways to go to get to the house, wasn't stopping nowhere, so he just got in the truck and his drawers and was headed home. Well, you might know that when he walked up on his porch in his underwear, smelling like stale beer with a pair of women's pantyhose wrapped around his arm, his wife might have come unhinged, fella. I'm talking about she come unglued. They had the awfulest fight you ever seen in your life. And I told Leroy about it the other day. I said, now, Leroy, I said, you can't do that no more. You're going to have to quit drinking. I said, another thing, I said, don't you take a preacher fishing with you no more.